Hi everybody and welcome back to my backyard. Today is a follow-up video to last video basically, and I went with this drone or with a GoPro on top and I went flying over a city. But let's just say I was expecting a little bit more because the signal was getting noisy where it shouldn't have, because I wasn't that far. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I'm used to this little drone right here, the Dison X. This one has a 200 milliwatt VTX with this puny dipole antenna on it, and it's not supposed to get better range, but somehow I feel it gets better range. Because when I tested this, I never had issues. While this, I start seeing some noise. So today I want to compare the two. And also this weighs 80 grams and this weighs 150 grams. So there is also some comparison on flight time, because I have the feeling that this one flies longer than this one on the same battery. And also this one, it feels faster. And now you know I'm betting on this one. But first of all, we need some data, and I'm gonna run two tests. The first one is gonna be endurance, and the second one is gonna be the VTX, how far I can go before I start seeing some major breakout. For the endurance test, I'm gonna put the GoPro on top, so it adds 20 grams, and you saw the tail of a cat right there. There you go. And come on, don't drop my camera, please. And here we are, ready for the endurance test of this Flywoo Explorer LR with a 650 4S milliamps battery, and I'm just gonna cruise steady, slow, and give it the best chance of flying, I don't know, many minutes. I'm gonna turn on the camera because this thing can go on for a long time. Probably it will do 8-10 minutes. So the first flight only lasted a couple of minutes because a cell on my battery died basically, and I'm just gonna replace battery and see what happens. And I just tried another battery with this, and it flew again for 2 minutes 30 seconds. Probably I have to check the DVR, but still 2 minutes. It shows me it's consuming 2-3 amps, but really the battery is dropping a lot, to the point where I landed at 13 volts both times. And that's weird, you know, because these batteries, I use them every day and they perform very good. I mean, with time they have probably 50 charges on them. With time they perform less, but this is a lot less. So I don't know. I'm gonna try my Dison X and see if it improves anything, or I have to replace my batteries and I didn't knew it. And now it's time to test the Dison X and see if it does better than 2 minutes. I mean, I probably will. But this, on a good day, it did 8 minutes, 10 minutes of flight, and I even got bored flying, so... And now it looks like I'm cheating, because this drone did 12 minutes, almost, I mean 11:40, something like that. And it was going on the 14-ish volts. And now I'm gonna get a battery checker and check these batteries, because I'm curious what's happening. And this drone says it's consuming 8 amps per second, but really, if you look at the graph at the end, it says I've used 1600 milliamps, while the batteries is only 650. So I mean, it's not very calibrated, the ESC sensor on this one. And I'm very impressed, because this drone just sips on power. And also I have to say the battery is cold to the touch, while the other ones, they were hot when the drone came down. And I am in look of some answers, because what happened is super weird. I mean, there is something wrong. So this is the battery from the last flight with the Dison X. Let's put it in the charger, and if you read the voltage, it's at 3.7. So I mean 3.74, we could have gone a little further. So 12 minutes, 3.7 volts, perfect discharge. And I'm happy about that. And let's see the other batteries, because here is something interesting. So let's put, this is from the flight with the Explorer LR. Let's put it inside. Oh, would you look at that? It's at 4 volts, and a cell is at 3.9. And I don't know, yeah, probably it's just some variance, but I don't know if there is a cell that's dropping. And now it's getting late, probably this will be my last flight, and I just want to show you how much of a rocket this is, because it's so much fun to fly. It's like piloting a Hummingbird. It goes super slow when you need to, and it goes super fast when you need to. It's just fun. And these props are not even the most efficient. Just watch this. And you just saw how much this is of an acro beast. I mean, this thing is powerful. It cruises a little bit slower than the other one, but if you push, it goes. And you saw, it's an acro beast, it stops on a dime. The only problem with these two problems, one is I don't do much aggro with it, so when I have the GoPro on top, and the lower throttle is a bit low, I have to raise it because you can see some shakiness. And also, this one I cannot fix. The inertia of this drone is not very high, so like this is those trees right there, and when I try to push it in the back, I turn too early because I'm used to the 5-inch that continues to go. This one, you go, you continue, you turn it and it stops and it falls straight onto the trees, and I have to wait a little bit longer till I clear and then I can go down. But again, I don't do much acro anymore, so I have to get used to this kind of small drones. But still, I'm impressed. I mean, every time I fly this, I'm impressed how small and how strong it is. And today, we are back where we left. I have the same battery that did 12 minutes on the other drone, and you will conclude that if it does 12 minutes on that, it's not sagging that bad. And also, I've checked this drone for ground shorts and stuff like that, and it doesn't have any. Also, I tried flying with, this is gonna sound bad, but I flew with a 1300 pack on this, and it's working not that bad. I mean, it's kind of heavy, low power, but it's flying for more than 6-7 minutes with that. So I guess 1000 milliamps to 850, 800, 900, it's the sweet spot. Maybe 650 is a little bit on the low side, but it should handle it no problem. Also, another consideration, if you put the GoPro on it, and this is super light, and I have also the analog version, so it's the lightest possible you can go. With this battery and the GoPro, it's 248 grams. So you want a sub 250 grams, this is the biggest battery you can use. So if it doesn't work with this battery and it needs a bigger one, well, it's not really suited for sub 250 cinematic flying. But without further ado, let's put this to the test and see if with the same battery it does more. On this very own battery, it did about 11 minutes, something less, but still, cause I flew basically 20-30 seconds, I crashed into a tree there, then I disarmed, I recovered the drone, I started again, and then it did 10 minutes and a half, so there you go. And now I'm ready to test the range with this one and the battery that did very bad yesterday. And now I know that the battery is the reason why it was sagging a lot, and I wanna try this same battery on the other drone and see if it can push further with it, because I have the feeling that this one pulls a little bit more amperage and lets the battery sag a lot more, but I have to test it now. And also I went right about over the creek there, and you could see I had a really bad video, and it was almost unflyable. In fact, when I turned back, I couldn't really find home. I had to use my ears and go back. Also, this drone is very silent. I never said it, but it's very silent. The other one, it's a blender. It makes so much noise because it's got small propellers. So, without further ado, let's try the other drone and see how it does, VTX wise and battery wise. And the Dison X did just as bad as this one. So now we know the batteries were the issue. So what drone is more efficient? I would say they are about on par, but I will give a little bit more to this because look at this. It has these 3-bladed 3-inch props, and I can go bi-blade and be more efficient with this. So it will, I mean, it's already doing something more, it will do a bit more. And also I can do 4-inch on this one. And also, physics is physics. If something weighs 70 grams less, it takes a lot or less power to stay in the air. Just imagine this drone 70 grams lighter. It will be incredible. And I guess there is place to shave weight, like it has a lot of extra material on it, a lot of extra wiring, and it could be, let's say, 30 grams less. Also, I want to try and put a GPS on it, on this drone, and see how much it weighs more, but you know. Then, talking about range, and I'm not talking about R9, because R9 is just fine, I could go to that mountain and come back if I would. I'm just talking about VTX, and I feel like the VTX on here is not very good. I don't know what, if the antenna or the VTX, I will make experiments, maybe use a Unify Pro, because this thing can go far, so why don't use a Unify Pro on it. But just look at this puny VTX 200 milliwatts from Beta FPV, and it's beating a 450 with a big old antenna. But I have to say, this antenna is very long and it has a connector, so maybe there is loss on this antenna, while this is super short and it's soldered. So maybe that is the reason. I don't know. So write down in the comments, who do you think wins between these two drones? I will say the Dison X wins this time. But I have to say something. This will go in my backpack. And whenever I have to fly far, probably I will choose this over this. Just because of the GPS and the extra peace of mind that if something goes wrong, I can flip a switch and come back. So I will try and improve the VTX, and this drone will be a pretty solid option, I guess. And that's all for today. I think I gave a pretty fair comparison between these two drones, and I tried to remove my bias on the Dison X. And let me know what do you think about this video. If you liked, you don't like, tell me why. Also, please leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe. Help me buying more batteries because my old batteries are dying out. And as always, stay safe and happy flying. Bye.